Now today's going to be
Whip of the week.
I don't know why I think that it's funny me saying it's spooky. I don't know. But yeah, it's going to be whip of the week. Now I did start this one on camera. I did all of the hair from start to finish. I will leave it linked up here or in the description down below. I did pop all of the colours in the description instead of me putting it on the actual video, because I would have been sat there forever and a day trying to edit it, and it would have confused me because I was bobbing between so many different colours. But I did put all the information in the description of that video, although I didn't put this PDF. I forgot. Forgive me. Forgive me. Right, so I used the polychromos for the hair, I used luminance for the skin, and then I was quite happy with it actually, and I went over it with the skin with Zest-It blending solution, and it's dried quite nicely. Now, just a warning with that stuff, because I'm overly impatient, I used my heat gun when I'd put the Zest-It down. Do not do that, because my paper started to smoke. So I unplugged it straight away. I was like, no, don't want a house fire, let's be careful. So yeah, I didn't do that, I just let it dry overnight. But I showed my husband this picture, and he said it looked like one of the characters from his games that he played on years and years ago. And I said, okay, let's show me the picture. And this guy was green, he was bright green. I said, she's not green, she's like bluey, greeny, purpley, pink colour. So yeah, he's knocked my confidence there a little bit. I mean, he was laughing and I was laughing, but I just want to add a little bit more purples, pinks and blues to a skin tone, just a little bit, and then do the background. Now the background I'm going to probably do on a separate video, because I was requested to do the shiny watercolour, so I'll do that on a separate video I think. Just do the final details of this, add her eyebrows and just work a little bit more on the skin. I've not even done the clothes as well, because let me just pick a pink out. I'm using Prismacolor now just because it's easier for me. Processed red. Let's give this a bit of a sharpen. So what's been going on this week? It's Thursday when I'm filming this, isn't it? Yeah, it's Thursday. It's Thursday. I did the stupid thing by putting fake tan on too early, and the whites of my tattoo is picked up on that fake tan terribly. I'm going to have to use my little knife. See, because these cores right out in the middle of the pencil, I'm having issues constantly having to do this. And you have to be mega careful because these blades are sharp. But I'm just taking this outer edge off a little bit, just so I can get to the core a little bit easier. I've just filmed a giveaway as well. This video actually might be up the same day as the giveaway video, but it was a Colour in Heaven issue that I know I'm not going to colour in. I don't know the artist, I don't know the cartoon, the illustration, anything. So I thought instead of it just sitting on my shelf, it's better to be sent to someone. I'm not going to zoom in too much because I've moved my tripod round. I still can't get a really good angle, God, I say it all the time, but I can't wait to move. I can't wait to move, and then I can have everything set up and it just be there all the time. I don't have to mess with it, because at the moment when I film I do have to pull the tripod out and readjust it, and then sometimes it just doesn't go as planned. But like I said, it's Thursday today. Now yesterday we did have an appointment for, we went to Liverpool actually, to Alder Hey Children's Hospital, and it was an appointment regarding Isabel's drooling. Now she does drool, and that's due to the cerebral palsy. Number one, it's, you know, it's uncomfortable for her, it's unsightly. We do get a lot of stirs because of the drooling. In the winter or colder months she gets rashes on her chin because of it. We're constantly having to change her bib. I mean, she's 5 years old now and we've not got a day without putting a bib on her. It's like having a baby sometimes. That might sound terrible, but it is. It's like having a baby. So we went to this appointment, and my first thought was, because the paediatrician said that they can be removed, the glands, he just said they can be removed, and that was it. So I went straight into that appointment, sat down, didn't even really listen to what she was saying. I just went, I want them out, I want the glands out. Unbeknownst to me that there was plenty of side effects and risks for her having the glands actually took out. So there is 4 different procedures that they can do to the glands to help reduce, if not stop. The first one is to move the glands, so that out of the 4, 3 of them are surgery. So the first one was to move the glands to the back of the throat, so when she's drooling it just goes down the throat instead of coming out of her mouth. I know this is TMI, but you know, I'm real. I want you to feel like that you're talking to a friend, listening to a friend. I say that all the time. I'm very open on my channel. But she can't have that done because the doctor, and let me tell you, this doctor was younger than me and she was one of the best doctors ever. She said, does Isabel suffer with chest infections? And we said, actually, she suffers with chest infections a lot. She gets one at least every other month. When it's bad, it's bad. We have to use an inhaler and all sorts on her. And use like this thing to get the mucus out. Oh, it's not nice. Anyway, it's not nice. And it just makes it even more stressful because she's not sleeping and she can't go to school. So we said, yeah, she does suffer with the chest infections quite a lot. And she said that might be because of the drooling, because the drool is basically going, the saliva is going back down her throat and it's on her chest, and that's causing the chest infections. And we was like, why has no one ever told us about this? All these doctor's appointments, paediatrician appointments, GPs, everything, no one's told us this. And then we were sort of angry at ourselves that we didn't even put 2 and 2 together. So we was like, oh, is that the reason? We always thought it's because she puts things in her mouth a lot, like if she's got a toy or a book or anything you can think of, she puts straight in her mouth like a baby does, like mouthing things. And we always thought that it was due to that she was getting ill quite often. And she said no. She said if she's going to get ill off mouthing things, then she would get a tummy bug, you know. And she never ever suffers from tummy bugs. It's very, very, very rare that she does actually. So I lost my train of thought now. So yeah, she can't have that surgery because it'd just make the chest infections worse. So we were quite hopeful then, thinking, oh well, if she has the surgery, then it will reduce the chest infections. So then we come to, there's a surgery that completely removes the glands. I mean, takes them out. You've got quite a few. You've got some in your neck, and then she said there's some like at the back of your jaw, and then like with your nasal. It's all connected. So there's quite a few. So they take 2 of them out. So she'd have 2 incisions on her neck. They go through there, and I was all for it at that point. I mean, I don't want my daughter being scarred and having scars and stuff, but if it benefited her in the long run and me for looking after her, then I was all for it. And then she started talking about the risks. So because of where it is on the body, the neck, they could catch certain nerves, which it could affect her swallowing, so she might not be able to eat properly, and she might actually get worse with the drooling and start choking. She might lose her sense of taste, which that child loves food. I couldn't do that to her. We buy her a Friday treat at McDonald's every Friday, unless we're doing something and it changes to a Saturday. She has a little Happy Meal, and her little face when my husband walks in with it is, oh, it just lights up the room. Anyway, and she loves fruit and chocolate as well, like every kid likes chocolate. But I couldn't do that to her because basically she wouldn't be able to taste anything then for the rest of her life. And then the other thing that I was like, no, straight away, is it could catch a nerve in her face which would affect her ability to be able to move her face. So it might actually look like that she's had a stroke, because, you know, it might make one side of her face drooper and then she can't smile anymore. And my daughter has got the most beautiful little smile, and she, like I said, she lights up the room with it. She really does, because, you know, she's not talking and stuff. The way that she communicates is by like crying or moaning or smiling or laughing. So if that was took away from us, I'd be heartbroken. So that's a no-no. That's definite a no-no, because that's the highest risk one, going in and removing them. Now the other thing that it's going to be on the table, and yes, these risks are still the same, but they're a lot less with this next procedure. So this one that we spoke about was just tying the tubes off of the glands so they can't produce. But they could grow back by themselves, but then she just have to have another surgery, which comes with more risks. But the risks are a lot less than actually just taking out the glands and calling it a day. And once you've took them out, you can't put them back in. Whereas if we tie them up, they could always be put back together in the future if they needed to be. And the very last one is Botox. Now, we have experienced Botox with Isabel before. She's still undergoing it actually. She was meant to have it very, very soon, but we've cancelled that because she's been a little bit of a naughty girl in school when it comes to physio. So we need to build up the relationship between her and the physios, get her doing some really excellent work, and then we'll do the Botox on her legs again. But yeah, they can do the Botox on her glands and her neck. But the only problem with that is we completely have to knock her out, as you know, like you do a surgery, so she'd be under local anaesthetic. And if you've ever been in a hospital with a child, you know how challenging it can be, especially with one that doesn't understand what's going on, that can't talk, you know. So I'm not really keen on that idea, but if it helps. So anyway, we left that appointment yesterday and we didn't agree with what we wanted to do. So we said we would come home and do a little bit of research, and me and my husband would talk about it. And we looked last night and there's barely anything online talking about these issues. And you know, it's quite common, it's a common problem with people with disabilities, people with cerebral palsy, for the drooling. Now, there was plenty of information for adults, but not for children, not about children. So I think we are going to go down the route of Botox because the risks with that are very, very minimal. It may only last 3 months, but it could last up to 6 to 9 months. Every person is different. So yeah, well, it'll be trial and error though, because if she has it done and then it lasts like say 3-4 months, then we need to contact that doctor to say, right, it's worn off now, we need to book you into the next one. So we could be waiting then another 6 months for her to have the next dose. So it's just going to be a little bit of trial and error. But I went into that appointment under the assumption that they would stop the drooling completely. I don't mean that she still needs saliva in her mouth to eat and stuff, but I was just under the impression that this would be sorted and she wouldn't have to wear a bib anymore, and she, you know, because she has some beautiful little outfits and then they're covered up by these bibs and by a harness and stuff. I know it's not about looks, but if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. But yeah, this might not even help that much, so she'll probably have to still wear a bib, but we won't have to change it as often. So I think it's going to be a trial and everything. If we do it and we don't really notice much of a difference, we just carry on as we are now and just plod along and see how we get on, and just hope in the future when she gets a bit bigger it just, you know, calms down a little bit. But yeah, I was a bit disappointed when I left that appointment yesterday, a bit disappointed. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Ever since having her, I tell you, that's made me learn to not, what's the right word? You know, like when you want to plan everything. I was a planner before her, and so was my husband. I'm even planning things that we did in the week, the month, everything, we planned everything. Yeah, but since having her, you can't plan nothing, because you don't know what's around the corner. You really don't. But on the plus side, she's getting on at school really, really well. And her behaviour, like when we used to take her out, like say if we took her out for a meal or to a family gathering or just anything out of the house, it was really, really difficult. It was to the point where we would say to each other, is it worth doing this because of the stress? But the last couple of times that we took her out, she's been good as gold. We took her for breakfast, her and Lewis, to just the local supermarket at the weekend. I wanted a fry up, I didn't want to buy all the stuff, and I definitely didn't want to clean up. So we just went there and we had a little fry up. And she was happy to just sit there, and she didn't eat anything because she didn't like that sort of food. She had a couple of my beans. But she was happy to just sit there and look at everyone. She's the nosiest little girl I've ever met. Just sitting there staring at people. They're giving people the occasional smile. Yeah, so she's getting better. She's getting better at, you know, generally behaving. But I sent her off to school this morning. What time are we on now? Well, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. I've filmed that giveaway video. It's only a short one. Edited it. It's currently uploading, and it's got 11 minutes left, so I need to finish the tags and stuff on it. I need to sort out loads and loads and loads of clothes today, actually. Loads of clothes. What else do I need to do? I'm doing this now, this whip of the week. I've got Hello Fresh again. We've got Hello Fresh this week. And then we've ordered it as well for next week, but it's only coming at the end of the week. So, oh, and I got my Evie tattoo. So it's there. It's still incredibly sore. You can even see, let me show you. You can even see all the little hairs. It's looking a little bit white in the middle because of the cream that I've just put on. But you can see all the little hairs. He's done a really good job there. But yeah, I decided to get it on my arm. I know it looks like that it's just been plonked there, but once we've worked on all this area, all this is being covered, all up my arm is everything's being tattooed. Even though my husband's family don't like it. That's another story. But he's going to blend round here to make it look like that it's all in one, and it'll look all lovely once it's all done. But I'm giving myself and my pocket a bit of a break, because it's not cheap getting tattoos. It's not cheap. He charged me, well, his wife quoted me £80 just for this, and it took him about half an hour, 40 minutes. Anyway, I got there and he said, oh, I didn't realise it was that small. So he charged me £50, which was obviously excellent. So that little bit of extra money has gone into my little planner. And I love this planner. Oh, I showed it the other week, didn't I? A little Call Me Stress Free one. And I've got little stickers and boot marks and stuff. I've not yet marked all these, but these are my weekly planners. So I need to fill that in actually. I've started doing colour combinations as well at the back. Look, I've got my pennies for YouTube for my new camera. I have got my colour combinations as well that I've started doing for different types of hair, and I'll do skin tones and stuff. It's just a good way to keep organised this. I love it, absolutely love it. Although I did try putting Evie's paw print there on the back and I messed the back up. I was very angry with myself. I think I'm going to cut one of them out and stick it down. I've got some really thick packing paper that I could use. What else did I want to do on this? I needed to do the eyebrows, didn't I? So I need to sort of colour match. I'm just adding a little bit of this light aqua, because I don't want it to look green. It's given me a bit of a complex now thinking that it is green. It looks a bit huey green on the camera. Oh no. No. What other colour can I add? There's plenty of purple. Let's try a lighter pink. What about hot pink? Go on, we'll give it a go. We'll give it a go. I do need to sit down as well today and go through my comments. I have times where I instantly reply like that. It depends what I'm doing when the comments are happening on my phone. And then other times I'll let it sit there for a couple of days, and I'll have to go back and comment back and like people's comments and stuff. So yeah, I need to do that as well today. Oh, builders again. Across the road, I think they've had a big massive extension put at the back of the house. In the last couple of days, I think they've been working on it, either a kitchen or a downstairs toilet or something. But the banging in my neighbourhood has been ridiculous. Ridiculous. I haven't done any paint pouring as well. It's having the motivation to set up the table, because I have to cover the whole table, cover the floor, cover the chairs, even though I've already destroyed them. But yeah, I've got the canvases there, and I've even got the paint ready to go. I picked it up from Aldi one of me lovely subscribers actually sent me a message on Instagram telling me that they were for sale. So I went down there and picked some up. So yeah, I'm ready to go with the stuff. It's just having the motivation to sort this darn table out. Yeah. I'm trying to think what else I did. I saw my dad on Tuesday. I usually see my dad on a Tuesday because that's the day that he's off work. He likes going to car boot sales and stuff, my dad, and going to charity shops. And he rung me up the night before and says, do you want to come round a bit earlier on Tuesday and we'll go to charity shop together? So it's sort of become like a thing. We used to do that when Isabel was in nursery. He used to walk to nursery on a Tuesday morning with me, drop her off, and then we'd go to the charity shop together. I love a good rummage through the charity shop. You don't know what you, honestly, you can find some really good treasures. I can't be doing with the car boot sales anymore. I used to do that with him when I was dead little. If Sunday's the only day that I can lie in bed till 10 o'clock and not get my fat bottom up early to sort her out, then I'm not getting up extra early to go to a car boot sale. I'm sorry, Dad, but I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I don't think we've got much planned this weekend. I'm pretty sure we haven't actually. I had to cancel on my nephew coming around the other week at the weekend for meet his girlfriend because I had a really, really bad stomach, like painful. And I thought, the first time that I'm meeting his girlfriend, I don't want to be crippled over in pain, so... Oh! Have I told you about the doctor's appointment that I had? I don't think I have actually. That was last Friday. Was it last Friday? Yeah, it was last Friday. It was. So it turns out that when I had the surgery last time for this lump that's regrown basically, there was such a endometriosis in it, and they didn't tell me. Both me and my husband were sat there going, are you sure they didn't tell you? I'm sure they didn't tell you. They definitely didn't tell you, did they, Debbie? They definitely didn't tell me. Going over and over. So yeah, they definitely didn't tell us that it was that. But yeah, so I've got another appointment in 6 weeks' time to discuss the what we can do about it basically. I'm gonna have to pause for a second. I had to pause to smoke my e-cigarette. You're gonna see all the smoke. I've still not gone and picked up a new one. It's broke and I still need to go and get a new one. What was I talking about before that? Yeah, endometriosis. So there was a touch of that in the last one. You know, it doesn't, it's the way that she explained it, and it reminded me of cerebral palsy actually a lot, that it can be so minimal that you don't realise that you've got it. It can be so bad that it's so life debilitating, and that's what Isabel's cerebral palsy is like. So yeah, we're just going to monitor it at the minute. I basically walked in there, it was the same thing, but it was the opposite way around. I walked in there and went, I do not want the surgery. I do not want the surgery, because what's the point in me having surgery to remove it when in 12 to 18 months time it's just going to come back again like it already has. I was actually doing YouTube at the time. I did sound different. I sound like a little scared mouse. I was really shy back then. I'm not now, am I? I'm not now. This is normal me. If you know me in real life, or if you know me by messaging me on Instagram, because I tend to send voice messages because I'm too lazy to type out, you know, this is the way that I talk, you know. Anyway. So yeah, she said that there's other options that we could do. I could go on hormone treatment for it to help it eventually. They're saying too much, because it's not nice. It's not nice. It's not nice. It's worse for 2 weeks of the month. So 2 weeks of the month, I'm not too bad. But for the other two weeks of the month, yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun. I'll put it like that. She said I can go on to hormones to treat it. No, we don't want to do that, because then she said, she was asking me about contraceptive and everything like that. No, I'm not on any. I mean, the only way we had Isabel is because it was through IVF. So what's the point? But she did say that the hormones would basically be like a contraceptive as well. So I wouldn't be able to get pregnant. Now, I'm not saying that me and my husband are trying to get pregnant, because we're not. But we're not trying, if you know what I mean. And we did try for over a year to get pregnant with Isabel, and we couldn't. That's why we went down the IVF route. but it doesn't mean that it 100% won't happen. It's just, it's only every other month that I could get pregnant, and even then it's split in half because I've only got one fallopian tube left, so it's like a quarter of a chance every other month. So let's try this one. I think this one's just called Pink. So yeah, I don't want to completely take that 25% chance out each month, because we've said it, and I'm sure I said it on the channel before, I would love another one. I would love another baby, and so would my husband. But we need to just see what it's going to be like, what life's going to be like when we move. Because if I had a baby now, in the current circumstances, I don't think I could cope, I'll be honest. And I've said this to my husband, I don't think I could cope because of Isabel. She's hard work. But I think once we've moved and she's downstairs, life will be a lot easier for everyone, because there'll be house everywhere. You know, we won't have to be taken upstairs to bathe her. Everything will be downstairs, and it'll just make life easier. But I'm not getting any younger. I'm 34 now, and the way that houses are going at the minute, even if we put our house up today and sold it today, I will be lucky to be moved in for before Christmas, because just that's the way it's going. A couple of different estate agents have warned us that that's the way that it is at the minute. I'm going to start working on the eyebrows now. And I feel like it's a bit chilly. I'm going to have to go and put the heating on. Yeah, they've warned us that it could take a while for the actual sale to go through. So yeah, that's adding nearly another 9 months to a year to it. Then I'm 35. You know, I'm not getting any younger, and I feel like I'm tired all the time because of this endometriosis, which, I don't know. I thought at first it was due to COVID, because I did have COVID a couple of months ago, and I thought it was just the effects still lingering around. But after doing, don't Google your symptoms. It comes up with all sorts. But yeah, after Googling and stuff and asking questions to the doctor, it could just be because of that I'm feeling tired all the time. I mean, I'll have all this energy in the morning, and then come like dinner time, I can't really do anything physically. I mean, we were driving back from Liverpool yesterday, and I fall asleep in the car. And it's not good. I mean, you've got all these things that you want to do and that you need to do. And then you've got your little girl coming home. I mean, my son's 15 and a half now, nearly 16. He can look after himself, cook his tea and stuff, and do his cleaning for him. But apart from that, he can look after himself, where I've got the opposite of a 5-year-old that's like a newborn. Just take away the 2-hourly feeds, but sometimes it feels like it's 2-hourly feeds. She's a grazer, my daughter. She takes about 45 minutes to eat a tea, because she just sits there and nibbles. She won't eat it all in one go. So you have to sit there and keep an eye on every single bite, just in case that she starts choking. But don't think that I'm sitting here, but I've had comments before, and don't think that I'm sitting here and bashing my daughter for the way that she is, because I'm not. I love that little bugger. She's the funniest little girl. You know, and I wouldn't change her for the world. I'd change certain things she can do, but I wouldn't change her. She's so happy. She's so happy. Yeah, but she wasn't happy with me yesterday dropping her off at school after that appointment. It was 10:30. No, it was 10:10 when we got out of the appointment. So we both said, well, she might as well go to school now. And she was in her own clothes. We drove up to school, and as soon as we pulled into the parking bit, she started screaming. I think she thought she had the day off, and it didn't help us well because Dad was with her. So yeah, she was not a happy bunny yesterday with me. But when she got home, she was happy, and it was bath day as well yesterday. She loves bubble baths. Give her my head massage, and her eyes go all funny, and she puts her head up and gives me this goofy smile. She's comical. She does. She cracks me up. She's just bloody hard work. Bloody hard work. Some turquoise and blues, I think. Where's my turquoises? I just had them a second ago. There they are. There they are. Roro's doing okay as well. That's what I call Roro sometimes. She's doing alright. Isabel's finally learned how to stroke her properly. I mean, I have to keep a close eye. I trust Rolo 1,000,000% with Isabel, but I don't actually trust Isabel with Rolo, because sometimes she's quite heavy-handed, and the tone in her hand just tenses up and she doesn't realise that she's doing it. So if she's stroking Rolo and she catches her ear, let's say, and goes like this because of the tone, it's going to hurt the dog. So I'm always there when Isabel's on the floor with the roller. But yeah, yesterday she was properly, softly stroking her. Then I saw her tensing up, and then I pulled her arm back, and then she did a tensing thing, and then carried on stroking her really nicely. It was adorable, adorable. She, I won't be able to catch it on film because it's sod's law. Every time I do try and catch it on film, she doesn't do it. But the dog now, 10 minutes before she knows Isabel's going to get home, she sits on the couch, staring out the window, crying. And I say, "Where's Isabel?" And her ears prick up in the air, and then she just starts crying, going, "Woo, woo, woo," running around the house looking for her. And then when she hears the buzz outside, because it's got a very distinct engine noise, she starts not barking but like squealing, gets dead excited. And then when I roll Isabel in the wheelchair, she gets dead excited and jumps up at her. It's dead cute. It's dead cute. Yeah, she's a lovely little dog. Lovely little dog. Well, I think I'm going to call it there because I don't want to overwork this page. I feel like I'm overworking it a bit here, but I'm happy with the eyebrows. Actually, I'll just add a little bit of yellow. And then I'll do the background separate, I think. I don't know when that video will be up, because I've sort of scheduled things in the wrong order, it seems like. So I might have 2 videos going up in one day, just to try and get into the back into the swing of things. But yeah, that's my Mariola page that will be finished in the next part of this video. And I'm doing this for my hashtag Mariola March 2022. Now I do want to start another Kirby page tonight. I did say that I was running this tag all the way through March as well, but I've just not picked a page up. I've been doing so many Mariola pages that I've just not picked a page up. So I'm going to purposely make it my mission tonight to pull a big double page spread out, have all my watercolours out and just have fun. I might even film it, but just do it as like a muted video, just so you can see my process of the way that I do things. But anyway, please do subscribe to my channel. Please do subscribe to my channel if you're new. I've noticed that my subscriber count is going up and up and up and up, and I'm so proud of myself, so proud of myself. And if you did like the video, please do leave me a big thumbs up. But until next week's Whip of the Week, I will see you in the next one.